Hey everybody, this is Jason, Premier Janitorial, here with you again live. I am here today with Micky Boyer of Capstone Family Medicine. I put on the, when I put out the live event we were going there, that he was the process administrator. So I don't know about you, but I don't know what that means. I'm not sure he knows what that means. But as we've been talking before we got started, he's got a lot more roles than that and different title. He was actually talking to, I guess, Brian, your boss. Is he your boss, per se?
Yes.
Trying to figure out what is my title. But anyway, I'm going to let Micky take it from here and kind of tell you a little bit about himself, kind of what he does with Capstone. And anyway, go ahead, Micky.
Well, on my business card, it says that I'm process administrator. I'm basically director of development for Capstone Family Medicine. I've been here for 6.5 years now, and I'm the one that is right in the middle of getting new things started, like urgent care and occupational medicine and telemedicine and the different things that are going on. I take care of the buildings and the structures and make sure that all of the outside contractors are doing their jobs and always trying to find the best people to contract for us with all of the different things that are happening. We have Jason with Premier Janitorial and his team. We have different people that take care of the lawns and the flowers and fish tanks and all of that. So that's my responsibility to make sure that those things are happening. And so people ask me, what do I do? I say that basically my job is to make it so that when people go home, they say, I love my job. So that's what I do.
And I'm sure you do that well. And that sounds like, it is a lot, but that really doesn't encompass, because when he says he's in charge of development, anybody that knows anything about Capstone, they are constantly growing. I mean, you have way more on your plate. I mean, he made that sound like pretty, I don't want to say simple, because it's not. I mean, he does deal with a lot of vendors, but there is a lot more than what he's just talking about that he says. So he has a lot on his plate. So I'm sure that the better that the vendors you work with, you said you're always working with people, the better they do their jobs and keep things off of your plate and keep people from in your ear complaining about all these different services that you're in charge of. I'm sure that that is paramount to you being able to even do your job.
First of all, it's critical. And in my position, I look at all of my vendors and all of the people that I work with as a team. We are not individuals, but we're actually a team that's trying to, at Capstone, the idea is to give the best healthcare possible to people and at the best price possible. And so as we do that, we have to have a team that is broader than just our healthcare professionals that are here, that keeps the grounds in great shape and the building in great shape, and keep us moving in the right direction so that we can provide the best to our patients.
So you say you've been here 6.5 years. I think we were just talking about that. You weren't, I guess, I don't remember exactly what your role was when we first started, so you were actually, I didn't realize we're in the actual decision process when you guys first hired us 6.5 years ago. So I mean, you were in that meeting. So how did that go as far as, I mean, what was going on that made you guys decide you wanted to change? I mean, that's been a long time ago. Maybe, I don't know, can you remember that far back? I mean, what was going right or wrong, or what was the reason that you guys were looking to make a change? Do you remember?
Well, the impetus was that the contract was coming up with the cleaners that we had at the time, and we were open to new bids and to new possibilities, and so your company was just starting out. It was, I think we were probably one of the first contracts, or one of the very early ones anyway. And so there was not a lot of track record. And so we're trying to figure out with what we knew about you and Kim, is this something that we're willing to take a risk on? And so, through discussion, we made that decision, and we've not regretted that.
Well, that's good to know. And you weren't the first, but I know you were within the first 5 or 6 contracts that we ever had. We're a little over 7 years old, and definitely at the time, they weren't near as big as they are now. Obviously, I mean, Capstone, anybody that's followed them, but even then, it was a fair-sized building. It wasn't just a small building that we had to take care of.
12,000 square feet.
Yeah, so it was the very first building that they were in. And so, you know, we appreciate that they had the faith in us and took that leap of faith. So how is that your job working with us?
Well, it's really been a privilege to be able to work with you guys. You're very responsive to what our needs are, and if there's anything that's ever come up, I've always been able to get a hold of you, and even in emergency situations, like when our floor flooded and we needed emergency water extraction, I called you up, and I think it was 6 o'clock in the morning, and within minutes you were there and on the job and taking care of us. And so those are the kinds of things that are critical for us, because we have to have people that actually have a similar value that we have to take care of people. So if we're taking care of people and you're taking care of people and you're taking care of us, it's really a relationship that works very, very well. We've been very happy. You know, other people that say, hey, we'd like to bid on your cleaning jobs. And so I say, yeah, absolutely, come on in. And this is what we do, and this is the things that are needed. And so they'll submit a bid, and you guys have always been right there, if not always better than the other companies that have tried to get into Capstone and into our other buildings. We have 8 buildings that we're looking at and taking care of, and you're taking care of all of those for us, and it's been really a joy working with you. I know that if I have an emergency, I can call you up at any time, and it gets taken care of.
Yeah, and one of the things he talked about that's really been neat is they've given us the opportunity. Not only did they give us the initial opportunity, but and as I alluded to earlier, he doesn't tell you how busy he really is. If you've heard it, he has 8 other facilities or buildings that he manages, and I think we service all of them.
Yeah, you do.
And it's never been a question. He just asks us, hey, what do you need? And they've given us that opportunity. So it's been a great relationship. We appreciate it. Like you said, that's one of the neat things. We really like the client base that we serve. They serve people, and we look at it as we get to help them along with, you know, as being doctors in the doctor's office serving the community. We look at that we're a partner in that, and that we get to help them in that, and look at our company like that. So we do appreciate that. We do appreciate that you've let us be a part of that with the growth, and they've never questioned it. So
we couldn't do what we do without you. You know, people don't really understand what it takes to make something like this operate. There are many moving pieces, and you just take one thing away. Take away trash removal, you just take away cleaning the floors, and it isn't but moments until your facility is in a shape where it's an embarrassment. And I remember in one of our buildings we had somebody that went into one of the washrooms and exploded. And I walked over there. I said, oh my goodness, I don't even want to call anybody, but it needs to be done. Called you guys up, and you came over, and within minutes had it sanitized and taken care of.
I remember that call. Unfortunately, I was the one that kind of was available and took care of that one. And yeah, that's not one you'll ever forget. You don't have to call me anymore on those. But yeah, so yeah, it's been great. We appreciate it. We appreciate that you taking the time and coming here today. And so, I did want to bring out one thing. So one thing I'll tell you about Mickey, that's the really cool thing working with him. And I was giving him a hard time earlier. He was nominated. I don't think he won, but that's irrelevant. He was nominated as the nicest guy in the Valley. And we were kidding, and I'm like, you know, he's like, what? He was surprised. I'm like, how can you be surprised? Anybody that's ever met this guy, I have never seen you without a smile on your face. And he said, really? And I'm like, seriously? And I mean, with all the stress and the responsibility and the things you've done. And anyway, I just had to throw that out there. So
you're too kind.
Well, so you were talking about complaints, not just from, you know, you say, hey, things get run down and can get out of control pretty quick as far as for your clients. Also, we have found, and I don't know if you've found this, that normally the biggest complaints come from your staff, right? Trying to keep I mean, because they don't want to be working in filth, and they don't want, and they care about the client too. So when you do have complaints, you talked about that. I mean, you know, how, I mean, because we're not perfect. We make mistakes. I mean,
Right.
he's not going to sit here and tell you we've never made a mistake and that we're not going to make another one. But how does that work? I mean, when we do make them, you alluded to it a little bit earlier, but.
Yeah, the nice thing about it is anytime that there's anything that's ever happened or that maybe got missed or could have been done better, I simply call and say, hey, Jason, or send a picture, a text to say, Jason, this got missed, and it's immediately fixed. That night, the cleaners come in and they're already notified of what's going on and what needs to happen. And you're very responsive to our needs. I've never had an issue that's come up that has never been corrected, and it's always been corrected well. And you know, you guys treat us, you know, like we're your only customer. And so I think that that's pretty special that you have the opportunity to have so many different customers, but yet you feel like you're the only one. So that's an amazing thing.
Right. Well, we appreciate it. We try. We're not perfect at it. I mean, we've grown. I mean, when we first started, you guys were client number 4 or 5, and just through your facilities alone, I mean, we've grown, and obviously we're in the 60 some now, but we still try to give that same level of service and respect to everybody. But like I said, we're not perfect, as he alluded to, but when we do appreciate the faith you guys had in us and take, and still giving it to us today, and enjoy the growth. You know,
it's been a great relationship. You know, over the years, I've had the opportunity to give references for you guys, and you know, they say, well, you know, is there anything bad or negative that you have to say about these people? And I just have to say, no. You know, you'd be foolish if you didn't hire them, because they're that good. And so we're very grateful that we found a company that we can work with, that we can partner with, and provide clean facilities and nice facilities for our patients, for excellent patient care.
Right, and from our perspective too, it's been a marriage made in heaven, and it's been easy for us to do because, for one, they do appreciate what we do, and our cleaners know that. Like we were talking earlier, Micky's seen him; he knows the cleaners that work here. He bumps into them, and you know, they've got friendships. I know the last one time that he had to get his gentle fix for the day. And Gentle is the name of the cleaner that cleans here. And they just, you know, they just hit it off and had a great relationship. And I think that's been the biggest takeaway for me on this is, and that we've learned as a company, because this company does it, is building relationships and fostering them.
Absolutely.
And the values, I think their value system and our value system, the core values are a good match. So that even makes it better. And that's the kind of companies that we like to work with, and that we strive to, and that we've strived to build our company on, and using them and the owners, which we know, and Micky personally, it has kind of helped and guided us in that direction too. So it's been really good.
For us, it's really important to know people by name, and to know Pat and Gentle, and you know, the different people that have worked for us, and we look at them as part of our family. Mm-hmm. And so they're the extended family for Capstone Family Medicine.
And that's cool that they you know, they value that, and the cleaners do. We call them team. The team does. They realize that, and they feel like they are part of the team. So, any parting comments you want to make, or anything you want to?
Well, I just appreciate the opportunity to talk with you and share the fact that we're very pleased with what's going on with Premier Janitorial, and we appreciate the relationship that we've had with you, Jason and Kim, over the years, and the ability to recognize that we all have a place, and that as we do our job and we work together, we accomplish great things together. And so it's really a privilege for us to have you guys part of our team as we provide quality health care for the Valley.
Well, thank you. And like I said, we feel just as privileged to be able to serve you. So it's been great. Hey, Spencer, I see you're out there. I didn't say anything. Anyway, I'm going to put a thing up here. Anybody out there, if you're looking or you're watching at this and you say, hey, you know, maybe I want to see what those guys can do for me, or if we can serve you, if we're a good fit, I'm going to put a link up here. It's pjsak.com/upgrade me. You can go there, get a little more information, and get a little flyer on how to make the change, some ways to make it easier, and we'll get a hold of you and see if we're a fit. But Micky, thanks again for spending, 15, 20 minutes of your afternoon and taking the time to do it for me. And so we'll see you again next week. So